Is it happening?
It's happening.
Are we live?
We're live.
Hi, everybody.
Extra put upon.
I know. I'm very... Adam, everybody, welcome. Hello. Thank you for spending some time with us today. If you're watching on Facebook, as you know, like and share. Although I have to say, whenever I watch a video on YouTube and they go, click on the... I never do it. I just get annoyed. I'm like, fuck you. Click on your own link, asshole.
Right.
But anyway. Oh, no. Who's calling?
Somebody from Tennessee.
Oh, it can't be any... Uh-oh. It's my moonshine connection.
Is it really?
Yeah, they're coming up. We got stuck in them Appalachian Hills, Mr.
Right?
McCarthy.
Oh, no.
I need that hooch by Saturday. There's a hoedown happening, and it's not... I fell apart.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a sip of this coffee.
Yeah, why don't you? Your little moonshine improv there.
You know, my mom came up last weekend, and she brought, like... you know how on the subway when those kids sell fruit gummies?
Yeah.
They're like the little... for the audience, they're like little sun-kissed...
or like Welch's
or whatever, right? And they have like they're like little, they're various flavors, and I really like those, but I'm never gonna buy them. I mean, I'm fucking 47. It's like that. They should have an aisle in a grocery store, just pedophile aisle, and it's like Pixie,
the pedophile.
Yeah, the pedophile, the pedo aisle.
There you go, pedo
aisle, right? Exactly, and it's just like, do they still sell that candy? Okay. It was, hold on, take a sip of the coffee first. A filibuster. That's good. Will you like your coffee, by the way? I made Adam a cappuccino.
Yeah, it's nice.
I love that machine, but it doesn't froth as well as I'd like. I don't know what I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Because it's a very expensive machine.
Are you,
go ahead.
How do you like your foam?
I like...
You like a big pillowy top, or do you like more of a silky smooth microfoam?
Are we really doing this?
Yes.
Here's the thing. I know, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, when you steam milk, a cappuccino has hot milk, and on the very top it has foam. And apparently there's different types of foam, which I didn't even fucking know until, hey, what are you, the captain of the foam team? Mm-hmm. All right, well... That's good for later.
It's a foam game. What is this, a foam game?
Yeah,
is this foam or away?
Right. I didn't know Haneker was German for foam. All right. So anyway. God, this is horrible. But anyway, so what you do is you take like a stainless steel. It doesn't have to be, but traditionally it's a stainless steel metal pitcher. And what you do is you turn your cappuccino machine either automatic, super automatic, whatever, and then you just steam it. That's what you hear sometimes when you go to... But what you do is you let the steam just sort of dance on top of the milk.
Yeah.
And you go up and down. And when it's too hot for your hand, it's done.
Yeah.
That's how I go.
Yeah, right. That's the way they do it, actually.
Yeah. And so then you put it down, and then you use a spoon. You pour some hot milk in, and then with that same spoon... You take some kind of one of the various types of foams that you can make, apparently, and then a little dash of cinnamon, or, are you ready for this? Grated nutmeg.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I thought you were going to say nutmeg, yeah.
Yeah, grated, hand grated.
Ooh.
Yeah. Or can you make a little heart on top of it?
I can do crazy, I can do
Are
really
you
good
serious?
latte art, yeah.
I fucking, Adam, you get more adorable every time.
Well, I was a barrister.
It doesn't even, just own it.
Okay.
Your little legs swinging.
I can do like Rosettas, double Rosettas.
Let me tell the audience something about Adam.
Tulips.
If Adam has ever been in a bad mood, I've never seen it. You're just
really?
I've never seen it.
That's good. I'm glad that I project that.
Yeah, you don't bring your shit in here. You leave it at the door.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's nice. You're just for a boy who's lived in New York for a very long time, you have a very Midwestern sensibility.
Yes.
We never close that fucking door.
I'm like Woody from Cheers. Let me do that real quick.
Do you think?
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. But Woody is from Boston. Did you know, everybody, and Google this?
He was from Indiana on the show.
Yeah, but I mean, he's original. No, is he from Boston? By the way, this is how stupid I am. I thought because the show Cheers took place in Boston, Woody was from Boston, but in reality,
the actor had to be from Boston.
Yeah, the character of Woody was actually from, I guess, Indiana, which I never.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson, the actor, It's funny that the character's name on the show was Woody,
Yeah.
and I wonder what was the bartender's name? The guy that owned the
Sam Malone?
Yeah, it'd be funny if they named him Ted Danson. That entire show, all the actors just had their own actors.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Professor Kelsey Grammer coming through with oh shit. I used to see that motherfucker. Who's the guy that played the mailman? There's an actor's name.
Oh, I mean, I know it was Cliff was
Cliff
his
Clavin.
actor
Cliff
name,
Clavin.
but I don't remember what the guy, John Ratzenberger?
Ratzenberger, yes.
Is that his name? Okay.
He used to.
I knew that.
Yeah, John Ratzenberger. I bet he's fucking made a fortune from being in those Toy Story movies. But when I lived in L.A., I would see him in the little shopping mall by my house. He'd always be in Barnes & Noble. Apparently, he's like a real right-wing conservative type of guy. He's one of those like him and Tom Selleck and a couple of other actors. Or the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, so the cappuccino machine. It for some reason it has two, and this is arguably this is obnoxious, but it's a very very expensive super automatic. The last one I had was $400, and it lasted for 10 years. It was on its last legs. You would press a button, and it would be like. Because these super automatic machines, everybody, they grind the beans to order. And this thing was like, at the very end, it was just like, just kill me. So we got a new one. And this one, all the compartments in it are all stainless steel. And it's a beautiful machine. But for some reason, the old one, even though it was kind of shitty, it was a good. I'm not going to shit on the Gaggia Synchrony, okay? I'm not going to shit on. Don't worry, everybody. It's a nice day. But what do I have? I have the Jura? No. DeLonghi. I have a DeLonghi.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have
Is
a
that right?
I have a DeLonghi.
DeLonghi.
That's what I call my cock in Italy. Hey, somebody suck this DeLonghi. By the way, I've been thinking about this just on and off in my head for a while, and I'm just going to give. I don't even know if fucking Chad Zoomblock listens to the show or not, but let me just tell you what this. I mean, look, Chad has no talent. He's not funny. Blah blah blah. We all know all this, right? But what's funny about that is I do feel like I can't believe I'm even talking about Chad. But if I was him, I would celebrate how unfunny I am because he doesn't have really an act or material. He just kind of pretends to be a comic. But what he should do is, he calls himself like the funniest comic in Florida or something like that. What he should do is call himself, are you ready for this? Because I think you're going to agree. Chad Sunblock Zumach. And the sunblock is in quotations. And on all of his like social media and stuff, he's covered in sunblock. And he's squinting at the sun. And the whole it's as hacky because he took that picture with the phone, with the shoe phone, which is just stupid. It's horrible. And the worst thing about that is he meant that. Like, that was kind of like, I'm going to show you how wacky I am, because he takes himself very seriously for whatever reason. But if he would just played up the fact, he's like, I can't believe I'm in Florida. All I can do, hey, folks, I'm spending more money on sunblock than I am on masks. Make it COVID-19.
Sunblock kind of related, sun-related humor.
Sun-related, sun damage-related humor, I think could really, in the bottom of the 9th inning of his career, I think he would. By the way, I just made a baseball reference. You know what movie I watched almost all of last night, which is a really good movie, is Moneyball.
I don't know that I've ever seen that before.
All right, I'm going to take a sip. Talk about how much you love my coffee.
Oh, boy.
Wow. Thanks
really,
for that.
Really didn't give me much to work with.
Oh, you fucking...
In the girth and the length.
For those of you who don't know, Moneyball is a movie starring Brad Pitt. One of the funny things about this movie, Moneyball, is it's Moneyball and Jonah Hill and various other people. Not really any. It's kind of like the two of them and a bunch of just baseball-y looking old guys. And they're all like, Billy, this ain't gonna work. So the premise is in this movie,
what time period is this?
2002.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know why I was thinking Moneyball was like, I don't know, in the 20s or something.
What?
I don't know.
I said Brad Pitt was in it.
I think I'm thinking of Leatherheads.
You're thinking of Benjamin Buttons.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Benjamin Buttons.
Tiny little baseball loving little baby old man.
Yeah.
Yeah. hey everybody, I may look like I'm old, but I'm only 5. And then when he was a little boy, at the end of Benjamin Buttons, he had Alzheimer's. Anyway, not to ruin it for everybody, but fucking movie came out 8 years ago, so fucking get over it. But Moneyball is about Brad Pitt. He's a baseball player, failed, blah, blah, blah. But now he is the general manager of the Oakland A's, and which gives him complete autonomy to do whatever he wants. And Oakland A's is like some shitty team. And so he meets, which is really funny because it's a true story. But what they did was they took all these, like, there was a bunch of Ivy League educated, and everybody relax, but here we go, Ivy League educated Jews. And this is from an interview with Jonah Hill. And in the movie, in the screenplay, they combined like a team of these guys and just made them into one heavyset Jew named Jonah Hill. And he plays this sort of young, Yale-educated, brilliant, I can't say this word, statistician.
Statistician. I can't say it either. Statistician.
And what the guy does is, it's actually really interesting. He says, look, because in baseball they have salary caps and shit, to kind of level it playing field, but whatever. But he says, look, we're never going to be able to afford like the big guys. So we're going to get one guy that can do something really well, another guy who can do something else really well. So we're going to have a madcap ragtag group of what do you call it? It's broken toys.
Sure.
And Brad Pitt. But the thing is like, I'm not look, I don't give a shit about Brad Pitt one way or the other. I mean, do we look like? Yeah, but it ends there. But he's always eating in this movie. I feel like that's an acting thing he does. Because did you ever watch those stupid Ocean's 11's movies?
I believe I saw one of them.
I just remember
there's a lot of them though.
There's like there's at least 11 of them.
Right. Did it start at 11 and then
it just goes on and on. Right now, there's an Ocean's 11 in post production.
There's just Oceans, just the original Oceans.
Right. David Sonnenberg is like, plague be damned. Well, not plague. What's it called? We have pandemic be damned.
Be damned.
Pandemic be plammed. He's like, that's it. Take off that mask, Elliot Gould. We've got an Ocean's 28 to make. Elliot Gould. I don't know. Anyway, so but in that, I've never actually seen any of those movies. There was an original. They're remakes, but now they're way past the remakes. But they in the movie, in the Ocean's 11 movies, the Brad Pitt character is always eating too. So I'm like, is that his acting?
It's a choice, I guess. Is that a choice, or is that does that come from the director?
Then how does Brad Pitt stay so trim?
Oh.
And
got a spit cup.
And by the way, I was just about to talk about that. Have you ever chewed tobacco?
I mean, I tried it once when I was a teen, but I remember getting a little bit of a buzz off of it. Do you remember like the first time you ever smoked a cigarette?
I never smoked a cigarette.
You never smoked a cigarette?
Never in my life.
Oh, why am I finding this out now?
I hate cigarettes.
Yeah, it's not good. They're not good.
Them. Well, they also like, and I mentioned this, hopefully nobody's home, because apparently my daughter told me she can hear this show. We got to get to a bigger apartment. But I had an ex-girlfriend of mine, and she had, I don't have to whisper now. She had big.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's here. And I closed the door.
Okay, good. All right, I'll talk like I'm regularly. I'll talk like a regular. Fuck it. Okay. I'll talk like regular. What does that even mean? But this girl, I feel like I've talked about this, but she had really big pussy lips. And when I would go down on her, she would pull them up to kind of get into the meaty folds of it, and her fingers stank like cigarettes. And that's a smell you can't ever really get off.
Yeah.
And if you kiss somebody who smokes, and if you don't smoke, you gotta it's gross. It's just gross. To me, I've never, and if a girl smokes, girls don't really smoke anymore. Smoking is really not something that you
it's
see.
Weird when you meet somebody that smokes. It's it's strange. Like I don't.
Yeah. And
you don't expect it.
No, you don't. Someone's like, and you think about it, remember like when I was growing up, there were like ashtrays everywhere and just, people smoked. But anyway, but in this movie, Brad Pitt's character chews tobacco, and a bunch of these baseball types chew tobacco. But then I'm watching Brad Pitt, and he's chewing tobacco, and he's also drinking water at the same time. Can you do that? I know, it was fucking gross. The whole thing
I
was.
guess you could. I mean,
Well, you
'cause,
peed it all in your down lip, and you. But this fucking movie, Brad Pitt's like he's eating a corn dog. He's got chewing tobacco in his mouth. He's drinking a Sprite. I'm just watching this. I'm like, what did we? Can you talk at some point? Just a lot of nodding.
Yeah.
And then in this interview, Jonah Hill said, yeah, he did say, he goes, yeah, I'm the composite of all the Jews. He's like, they
kind of
mushed
he's
them all together.
Right. What
Yeah.
would that be?
And
Like
he's
a combination of all the.
Yeah, he's like a Voltron of Jews. But yeah, he's and boy, is he fat in that movie too. That poor guy cannot. He was really skinny in the remake of 21 Jump Street. And even then, you could probably tell when they hit cut, they probably had to put him in that Hannibal Lecter thing to make sure he didn't eat, because it's like cut, grab him. Jonah's like running for the craft table. It is so easy to get fat. I've gained weight. I hate it, but I'm sort of on it. I'm on it in that I see it. But when you make, you ever been on the set of like a TV show or a movie?
Yeah.
Fucking, there is just food everywhere.
Yeah. Right.
Especially
and like snacks and candy.
Oh, yeah. And also, like, I was shooting a commercial once, and in the middle of, they had to relight it, and in the middle of it, they had, like, people walking around with milkshakes. Like, it was like a milkshake break, and these were, like, milkshakes with, like, it was real ice cream. It wasn't like fucking, like a blended soft serve or whatever. It was real ice cream, and then they had like crumbled up like Oreos on top. It was kind of like a really high end. What's that thing you get at McDonald's with the long
McFlurry?
Yeah, it's like it was like a McFlurry, but like with real ice cream and shit. And they would be like, and it wasn't even like a little one. It was like a 24-ounce. 5,000.
Somebody was just running around with like DQ blizzards on a tray.
Yeah, but they were like they made them there. It was this same commercial I worked on. This is why it's so fun to work on these things. I was a what we call in the show business world a principal on this, and so principals, we got our own trailers, and then there was a whole area for us. The extras weren't allowed in there. And it was weird because they put this big fence around us. So like you'd be in the little nice principal area, and it was like it was like eating in a refugee camp. Like we were like the UN peacekeepers, like watching a DVD of Meet the Crumps or whatever, and around us would be Somalian, like malnourished people. Because the extras, it was like they got a bagged lunch, and they had to wait in line for their bagged lunch, and where they picked up their bagged lunch was right where the catering company had set up. They had put up a pop-up restaurant. So there were tables set up. There were only like 8 of us. There were only 8 principals on this thing. So then for lunch, you sat down and they gave you a menu. And you could like pick 3 things, and there was an appetizer. You didn't even have to go up to like a truck or anything. There was like a fucking. So as these people are waiting for their like bologna sandwich and juice box, I'm like, I'll have the organic tomahawk chop ribeye. That was exactly what was on the fucking menu.
Organic tomahawk chop ribeye.
You know what a tomahawk chop is?
I was just about to ask you.
Okay.
I don't.
You know what a regular ribeye is, right?
Sure.
It's when the bone goes way out. It's like the bone is like 8 inches or even a foot off. So they don't. It's really more for a dramatic presentation. And like if you go to like, for example, there's a place around the corner from my apartment that has a tomahawk chop, and it's expensive. It's like traditionally, it's like, I don't know. They have a really thick cut tomahawk chop, and it's $125.
And that's like, is that?
It's just thicker.
How they have like the side of beef and how it gets goes from skinny to
no. This is just a ribeye. And it just has a long bone. It just has, because it's comes off, the ribeye comes off, I guess, the rib cage. I'm not a fucking butcher.
My butcher actually gave me a whole lesson on this once.
Oh yeah,
so I should know, but I don't remember.
Were you having a hard time sleeping?
Wait, what?
You're like, I'm just.
No, I was very. I have this. I go to this great butcher shop in Queens, and the guy he'll bring it out and go, "This is what is like a fucking old school Italian dude," and he'll point at the meat.
Okay.
Tell you where it's from. It's great.
Be funny.
I don't remember the tomahawk though.
Ask him about a tomahawk.
I'm gonna blow his fucking mind.
He's gonna be like, you finally.
He's gonna open mouth kiss me. I bet.
Yeah. He gives you like a blood-stained apron. Yes. He's like, here, My son wore this before
You're
cancer.
one of us now.
Yeah, cancer took my son, but I kept this. I don't know why he sounds like that. His son died of cancer, so he gives that. You find out he dies like 5 years later. He gave you the butcher shop. You immediately fuck it up. You just turn it into a fat ass girl emporium.
Oh, God.
You're like, people are like,
fat ass girl emporium.
yeah.
I like that.
People are like, what happened to this nice old Italian? All you can buy in here are size 48 jeans and sparkly halter tops. This place used to be a butcher shop. Now it's just called Muffin Tops with 3 Z's instead of an S. And you're the proprietor. You just sit there like, and it's having these big fat girls come in. Right. You say, right. And then maybe you have a tattoo on your chest that says, I love wide loads. And they call you the trucker. I don't know. Sorry.
I was thinking more like a BBW strip club.
Or just call it a black strip club. I mean, be honest. Most of them are not. Right. That's not really the thing. But anyway, so you would order and it was a ribeye with chimichurri sauce. And so you would, and then after that, the whole day long, they would have like panini set up. They had a whole because what happens is these union shoots, they get money in their budget for like different things. And if they don't spend the money, then the next time around they'll get less money.
Right. So they got to blow the budget.
There's a whole industry in LA of like incredibly ridiculous. I knew a porn girl named Angie Savage. Matter of fact, I tried to call her a couple of weeks ago to do a Zoom show. We will see her as we go through. Oh, a little Patreon plug here, but we've been going through the old porn stuff that I made, and Angie Savage, she's a little blonde girl. She has giant wings tattooed on her back, and which is fine, but they're not even like Angie, sorry, but they're kind of gross because they're incredibly detailed. They're like each wing looks like a real feather. Number one, that must have hurt like shit.
Right.
And number two, it's just kind of like, all right, I guess here we are, but she was in a couple of things. She's only done a couple of boy-girl things, and now she sells real estate. Is there anything more LA than that? But for
she could do property sex, maybe.
Yeah, you know what? I try watching those. I can't.
You can't get into it?
No, I can't. Because I'm always like, I get too hung up on the actual property.
I don't buy this. That wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I'm always like, that's not really an eat-in kitchen. That's a breakfast bar. You know? I don't know. Why say it's an eat-in kitchen? That's not
a nook at best.
Yeah. California closet? Not really.
Right.
It's got a rack and some shelving. That's hardly a California closet.
Get caught up on the logistics.
Yeah, I get caught up. Yeah. I'm like pausing the video with like trying to measure the square feet. I'm like, are they counting the hallway entrance? This is a true fact. Not to get political, folks, but when I think they had to change it. But Donald Trump, when you bought an apartment, one of his condos in New York or I guess wherever, I don't know, but he would measure the square footage from the elevator to your front door as part of the square footage of your apartment.
Oh my God.
Yeah. His original property, the first one, the Trump Tower, I actually was in one of those apartments long time ago. Not that, I mean, long, but not like long time ago. And it's funny because there's a documentary on Netflix about Trump, and it's true. It's so funny because they show that building was built in like, I want to say 84 or 85, something like that. And it's funny because it was like Connie Chung or somebody is like talking to Donald Trump, and then afterwards they kind of go back and they're like, "Can you believe you can live?" No, it was Barbara Walters. She's like, "Can you believe you can live in an apartment and pay over $300,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment in Manhattan?" Like it was like a big number,
right?
But then later,
back in the 80s,
it was like $300,000, and then but apparently like. The apartment I was in, it was like shitty. It was like a little dumpy 1-bedroom that I actually went into Trump Tower 2 days ago because I wanted to go to the Gucci store because I wanted to. I'm so bored. I'm just literally walking into stores now and striking up conversations. I had to go in that neighborhood anyway, and I was like, I've never been in the Gucci store. And I walked into the Gucci. Number one, when you go, everybody, when you go into the Trump building, it does feel like you're entering Mordor. Because like the entrance to the Trump building, which is on 5th Avenue between 56th and 55th Street on the east side of the street. The building is black mirrors or glass or whatever, and with all this gold. And in the building they had, although it's closed now because of maybe COVID, but I think it's been closed for a while because of the president. It has like a little weird mall in it, and like it has a there's actually Starbucks in there, and there's some other shit. But now when you go in there, there is a, ready for this word? A phalanx of New York City, and not just police, but they're like the special, I don't know what they are, but they have like, I had to ask a guy where the Gucci, you ever want to feel like a bigger fucking Nancy boy in your life? Walk up to a guy who's literally, the guy had like 5 assault rifles and one on his head. The guy was covered in guns. He had a helmet on.
Covered in guns.
Yeah, he had a helmet on, and he had like 3 or 4 bulletproof vests, and he had like knee pads. Like I got really close to him. It's like a clock his shit, and I looked at all of his, and he wasn't wearing a mask, which I was like, dude, come on. But and he was covered in like padding. And fucking, he had those football players had that black shit under his eyes. I mean, this guy looked like
He had the grease paint?
Yeah, grease paint. He was ready for
God.
fucking. He was itching, of course. And I bet the most exciting thing that happened to him is I walked up with an orange and white stick and said, "Hey, where's the Gucci store?"
Right.
You could tell he was annoyed. He was like, I got kicked out of Navy SEAL school for this. But I went into the Gucci store, and what they do now. Have you been into a fine boutique
A couple times.
since the COVID thing has started?
Oh, no.
So you go in. It's different too in some of them. I think my white privilege kind of kicks in.
Sure.
Because I went into, I'll talk about this first. So I went into Gucci, and they stop you, and I even offered. I was like, "You guys gonna take my temperature?" And you could tell people are already like over it. The guy was like, "Nah, you're all right." But then this guy came up to me, little guy. This guy, when I say little, this gentleman was maybe 5'2", and he was a little bald older man, very gay, but not like, "Hi, welcome to Gucci. What are you here for, sir?" No, it wasn't like that. But he was like a very prim, little, put together. And I was like, and he wasn't like. And look, I went in there in like a patterned shorts and a Lacoste shirt. It was hot 2 days ago, and and so I just went in, and I told him, I said, "Well, I'm looking to buy a sweater, but it's from the 2017 collection, and you probably don't have it, but I don't know if I'm a large or an extra large." And he goes, "Oh no, you're an extra large."
Oh, no.
And I made a joke, and I said, "Hey Peter, I'm not here to buy underwear." And I winked at him, and he went,
yeah.
His little blood-stained cheeks blushed crimson. He was like, "Oh, you're a party monster." So anyway, so I went up to Gucci, but then this is funny. So then I went in and they didn't have. I just kind of like went in there and looked around. I don't really like Gucci, and it's funny. I'll tell you what's funny about Gucci and a lot of these big labels. The cheaper the shit is, like if you go in a Gucci store, you can buy like a sweatshirt that says Gucci on it, and it's going to be like $600, right? Which is a lot of money and this is just a fucking dumb sweatshirt. This is nothing. Right. This is in cashmere.
It's so that you have Gucci on your.
Right. This is
for the label queens.
Right.
Peter.
But if you want the really good shit at Gucci, it doesn't say Gucci at all.
Right.
You just can't even tell. I mean, you can tell. Only those of us in the know.
Right.
But like you can only. But
it's to impress other people that know about Gucci, probably.
Yeah, but they sell Gucci from 2017. They have this great sweater that says "Blind for Love" on it, and I really want it because we're gonna do a dislabeled photo shoot pretty soon, and I want to wear it because I'm blind. And
sure, I'm a blind,
and I love the love. So
sure,
but it's from 2017, so I can only find them on eBay. The sweater retails. This is where it's obnoxious. The sweater retails for $1,500. But you can get NWT. You know what that means? I'll give you
not with tapestry.
Really? Is that your real? Is that just?
No,
is that a real guess?
No, I don't. I don't NWT.
It's new with tags. You
new with
idiot.
tag. I don't know these kinds of
so
things.
You go into eBay because I'm
not a fancy person.
Well, no, but you go on eBay, dude. You can get like this kind of shit on eBay.
Gotcha.
So I found this sweater, new with tags. Okay, which means it has the tags, and you buy it from eBay. If it's not what it is, then you just send the fucking thing right back, and they give you your money back. Like you can buy a used toothbrush on eBay, and if you don't like it, you can just return it, even if it says no returns. If you like pitch a fit, they'll give their money back. And I'll get into returns in a minute. And by the way, everybody, like and comment. We are going to stop. If you have any questions or whatever, do it. We will. Sometimes we just kind of burn through them. All right, everybody, just so that you know what happened. I know for some reason the internet is fucked up, and so I apologize. But I am assured by our production team that we can figure this out. So what we have done, we stopped the live show. We're now doing a recording because it's just fucked up. So as soon as Adam gets back to Queens, he'll put this together. And
I got to stop and see my butcher first. But as soon as I get back to Queens, get a full dissertation on tomahawk.
It'd be funny if you asked him. You went in there and asked.
I'll get this up as soon as that happens.
You said a guy that I work with mentioned a tomahawk chop. He just goes and like pulls the blinds down in the store. He locks the front door. And he's like, "I have waited a long time for you to come to me."
Who sent you here?
Yes.
You want a Johnny's guys?
You know, or he has like terrible puns. He's like, the problem with the tomahawk chop is people call you an Indian giver. Just terrible puns.
That weird Native American joke.
You know what place has a nice tomahawk chopper steak is Foxwoods. Because, you know, it's like
sure.
Indian. Okay, good. You know what else would have worked for that joke? Mohegan Sun.
Oh, Mohegan Sun, yeah.
So,
and really any casino.
Well, it has to be owned by Indians.
Well, aren't they all?
No.
Well, not the ones in Las Vegas. I guess I just I assumed all the casinos outside of Vegas are.
Well, here's what has happened, and don't fucking quote me on this, but these what has happened is these investment groups have partnered with, because they've gone and found really small Indian communities all over the country.
Sure.
And they've said, hey, you know, Chief Titicaca or whatever, we are going. It wouldn't it be great if I got canceled for that? I just said like.
They're saying Titicaca?
Yeah, Chief Titty. Many moons have come since white man come. In Honda Accord XL. Oh, a murmur goes around. Guy shows up with like a case of wild turkey. He's like, sign here, red man, and you'll have your very own casino.
Casino.
A fool and his money are often potted. How are we going to do it? But anyway, they go and they say, listen, we need your rights, or we need you. We're going to bankroll you guys. And you know what's weird about those indie casinos is that when you drive across the country, you'll be in the middle of like nowhere, like Arizona, New Mexico, whatever, and you'll be driving for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, and you'll see nothing. And then like a mirage, you'll see some big, weird, dumb casino that just, and I'm always thinking to myself, who the fuck even goes here? Like, it just shows you how much money there are in casinos where, I mean, I remember there was this one, like when you drive from Amarillo, Texas to Flagstaff, Arizona, it's about, I think it's a 12-hour drive. It's a long drive. It's a 12-hour drive. And it is like once you get out of Flagstaff, which is, I don't know, whatever, 20 minutes. And then when you drive from there, it is like nothing. You don't pass anything. It's just like, it looks like a Roadrunner cartoon, and then it just turns into like, I don't know, high desert. But then you a couple of times you will drive by these giant casinos, and you're just like, who even goes here? But I guess if only like 10 people go, they're all going to lose their money. So fuck it. I mean,
yeah, but a lot of people, because isn't it that they draw from all the communities, the outer community, like people go from.
But who even lives? I mean, yeah, I guess an hour away. I don't know. I mean, if that's what you do, I guess. But it's just weird. You kind of drive by. Because my point is, I guess, is only that you only need like a couple of, I don't know, people to. I've never figured out gambling. Thank God I don't like to gamble.
Dude, that is. I was just gonna say that's the one thing that I'm so glad. I mean, having addiction energies is already hard enough, but I mean, I feel like with drug addiction and alcoholism, like you at least there's like a, you know, you have some fun. on the way down.
Let's get into that. I understand the high from gambling because you really and obviously the more you gamble, the more there is to lose. On the other end, that exciting it would be. I mean, how thrilling must it be to take your kids, savings for college? I have girls, so that's not an issue. But you're saving.
Because they'll be trophy wives.
Yeah, trophy wives, right? Exactly. Or cosmetology camp or something. I don't know what they do,
know.
but cosmetology camp. But what they do is they go and imagine you only have, let's say you have $100,000 in the whole world, but you really need $150,000. Yes. So you gamble all of it, and one time you make 300. Now you got $300,000. If you can do that, all you have to do is do that one more time. Turn 300 into 600. Now you're set. But then the next time you lose all of it, but maybe I can understand that cycle of boom and bust, and it must be thrilling. Nay,
I'm sure.
Intoxicating.
Nay,
intoxicating.
I love nay.
Yeah. Are you saying I'm unstable?
Fucking horses and shit.
I made those horse jokes last night at the dog run.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, how do you trim your nether regions? What do you do?
I just have like a shaver, like similar to you.
My God, I used my shaver yesterday, and I nicked my nutsack.
Oh, yeah.
So badly that it hurt. So when I went to bed last night, I used a big handful of Neosporin and just coated my genitals in Neosporin. And it feels better today. Neosporin is fucking amazing.
Oh, that shit is magical.
It really is.
Well, I use to get more specific.
Go ahead.
On the sack, I use like a sharp, brand new Bic razor.
I don't.
But I have perfect vision. So
I'm not gonna.
That's the thing you would.
I'm not about to start shaving away with the Mach 3,
right? Because you could
end up in the hot.
Yeah,
end up like
could.
Literally one of my nuts just falls out of the side of the cut.
Yes.
And I would also imagine that if you remember from a couple of months ago, remember I was talking about getting them waxed, but no. I'm not going to do that now. And what I did...
Getting your nuts waxed.
Yeah. And now that we're on the subject, and I guess we should probably wrap it up because we did a bunch of shows, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I will say is for those of you, and this is largely for Jessica, who have hairy assholes, what I have done is, I did this last night again, a lot of times when I'm using the bathroom, making a number 2, I will... I just wipe, and I'm like, I'm never done.
Yeah, it's a never ending.
Because your asshole's very hairy, right?
Enough to where it's a problem.
So
for sure.
I will tell this advice to you.
Uh-huh.
Here's what you do. And I've mentioned Gold Bond medicated powder on this show, right? You get the green stuff. The green stuff is like extra strength medicated. And what I do is I will wipe, okay? But then it's still something back there. So then I'll go into the shower stall. I take a generous handful of Gold Bond. I pack it up in the abscess, okay?
Yeah.
And then it will immediately, number one, it's cooling. Oh, it feels so good.
Yeah.
But then what it does is it immediately adheres to any fecal matter, okay? And it makes it into like little little chunks of white dookie. So then I take my hands. I did this last night. And I take as much of the hair as I can and I rip it. And it rips it out. Or sometimes if I don't feel like, because it hurts, if I don't feel like dealing with that, I'll just pack it. And then if you use your hands and you vigorously rub on the inside of your butt cheek with the powder, it'll just kind of make it all sort of good. You're basically taking a moist mess back there and you're making it all dry. I'm just saying, it really helps.
Now, and I'm sure we've probably covered this over the years, but do you have some sort of issue with using like a moist wipe?
Here's the problem. Moist is fine.
Yeah.
But really, fundamentally, what do you want back there? You want dry.
Yeah.
So maybe what you could do is, if you want to kind of put your own little spit polish on this, you moist wipe and then just a little Gold Bond.
Yeah. That
there.
would be a real fucking...
Oh, my God. It's like taking your
The royal
asshole to
treatment.
a goddamn all-inclusive Dominican Republic vacation.
Okay.
You're like, pack your bags, bunghole. I'm taking you to Flavor
Sure.
Town. Okay, so listen, everybody. We're going to wrap it up. Sorry about the fact
We'll
that
get
the
it.
show...
We'll get it worked out. We had a great run, though. I will say we had a great run of. How long have you been here? We've probably done.
2 months, maybe?
We've probably done
least 6 shows.
6 to 8 shows.
Yeah.
Perfect Wi-Fi. So it happens every once in a while. I'm actually having trouble at my house too with the Wi-Fi
Do you think
with just my computer, not my phone. I don't fucking understand.
Think it's
like
it's a
magical.
5G thing?
I think it might be.
All right.
Yeah.
We should... Next show you're going to watch on Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook, we'll have our heads covered in aluminum foil.
Yes.
We're holding like...
I'll have bunny ears.
Yeah. We're holding like barbecue tongs in our hands.
Yes. Yes.
Woo, woo, woo,
I
woo.
think that'd be great.
Right. I feel like the internet's better in this corner.
Mm-hmm.
We're in this internet corner. We call that the space corner. But listen, the show is free. Okay? It's free.
Yeah.
We ask nothing from you. All I would love to do, and Jessica, I feel like I can ask you this. By the way, I told my wife knows about you, Jessica. I'm like, I want to, this Jessica, she's nice. But I feel like even though you may think this show's, you may have a secret thing because people think clearly you like dirty stuff. If you have other friends of yours that may have enjoy the same or have the same proclivities as you do, then share the show. Just underhandedly pass it like a little note if you're in high school or whatever. Just help us spread the word of the show. That's all we ask.
It can be our dirty little secret.
Dirty little
I
secret.
have certain friends that I know that I've passed this on to, and I go, "Hey, check this out."
Yeah, and they like it.
You're a weirdo.
Yeah.
You're a weirdo like me.
And also, I am wearing one of the T-shirts that I sell on the Facebook page, or on the website, rather. Bruce Fulton. Shout out to Hudson Media Web Development. What does the shirt say?
I invented seedless watermelon.
Pretty funny. Yeah. I wore this shirt before COVID. COVID's kind of cut down on the amount of people. People, when they're wearing a mask, don't want to engage, no matter how hilarious the shirt is. And
maybe you put it on a mask.
Yeah, you know what's funny, Bruce? When this whole thing started, Bruce, who's always got that guy's got his finger on the pulse.
Oh yeah.
But he said, they have masks, and I said, you know what? Why don't we sell masks? And then he looked into it because he's a good egg, and plus he has a financial investment in the brand.
Sure.
And he said that it's a pain in the ass because you have to it's not as easy. The T-shirts are pretty easy.
Right.
They're especially easy for me.
Yeah.
But for Bruce, all he has to really do is something. But the mask, it was like you had to measure the stuff and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's too much.
Oh, to fit the graphic on there, probably.
Something like that.
They'll probably work it out in a couple months. I would imagine they'll have it figured out.
Great. Just in time for us all to die of some other plague. Great. Terrific. We go from selling masks to selling body bags. Hilarious, funny body bags.
Pine boxes.
I told you I was sick.
Right.
Right. I can't believe I ate the whole thing. That could be another one. Right. Yeah. Hey, next stop, Old Petsville.
I feel like
hilarious body bags could be the next.
Yeah, hilarious body bags or any kind of COVID related. I feel like the mask opens up a lot of.
Hey, here could be another thing with the body bag. I tell you, this COVID is nothing to sneeze at.
Love it.
Yeah, could be like a little jokey thing. So anyway, and if you're on the Patreon, hopefully you've been enjoying. Some people have reached out and said they've been enjoying the new. We're putting a lot of content on Patreon, and before you leave, I'd like to give you. Let me just give you one hard drive.
Oh yeah,
and just go through it and tell me what you find on it.
Yeah, I can't wait. That'll actually work better because those discs. I never told you this. It's funny. We're on the air. It's okay. But the discs, they're like, they were printed off in. I don't even know what year these were made, but they have these big kind of paper.
And are they
labels
stuck to them?
They're getting stuck in my computer. I've had to emergency eject. But I mean, I think it's because maybe nowadays
I wonder. Okay,
CD-ROMs.
I wonder.
It's like a whole thing.
And you have my permission to do this. Why don't you look on YouTube and search a way to gently clean a CD, because I bet, don't put them in the bottom rack of your dishwasher, but I wonder if you just used a little bit of a solvent, maybe not solvent, that's not a good word, but if you used a soap and water, warm soap and water, to get any stuff off, I bet you
no, they're perfectly clean, because it looks like they've never even. It was I know it's the label, because one of them I took the label off and it worked fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean. It's a tiny little. It's paper. It's a paper sticker. You wouldn't think it would make that big of a difference.
All right. Well, I don't want to fuck up your shit.
No, it's okay. It's just
because I do have I can give you a DVD drive.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, I'll do it. See, we just had
we
had a production meeting.
Problems.
That's it. Right. Exactly. So on the Patreon, we're about to show the Shawl Skank Redemption, which is a show that I made. I feel like I put this up, but maybe I didn't. I don't know. But now what we can do is we're going to do sort of a Mystery Science Theater.
Well, and this is nice because there's not actual nudity in it, so we can put it right on the regular
This
Patreon
will go
page.
right on Patreon.
And we'll do a little Mystery Science Theater.
And remember, ask me questions because I can answer about
Sure.
to various girls and stuff or whatever, because there are stories in there. And like I did say, on one of the hard drives I'm going to give you, or there may actually be a disc that I gave you, there is the video of the girl getting straight up punched right in the face.
Oh.
Which is really something else. So, I don't know. Stay tuned. That'll be in the Patreon. So what? Lipsweat.com or BrianPMcCarthy.com or BrianPatrickMcCarthy.com. Like, share, blah, blah, blah. Please. Takes a second. And then, of course, on the Patreon /Brian McCarthy Patreon, you can find all this shit on the website. And on the Patreon, you get, all the extra shows. And then now we have a ton of video content. So, for your $3, $5 a month, you get a lot of extra shit. And you can always reach out to either Adam or I on various platforms. We're very easy to get a hold of. So if you have questions, comments, whatever it is,
but it's nice when people leave the comments on Patreon, and then we'll read them on.
Yeah.
Or if you have a question, most of the time it's comments, so we don't read them. But if you do have a question about a thing,
we get right back to people. And also,
and we'll read it,
especially Patreon, because then we feel like you're invested in the project.
Exactly.
So, all right, is that enough?
Yeah.
Okay, when we come back in a minute, folks, Patreon, please believe it.